And Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. It's your brother Malcolm from the branch of GMS here in Chicago. All right, give it double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations unto the my fellow brethren, the Akim, that are doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. All right, and to the Akwaf, and to the confusion of face Akim that are joined into our ranks, and to the Akwaf that are listening and learning, to them I say Shalom. You know, it's funny, I had no idea what I was going to do this morning, but I was hot to do another edifying video to feed the flock, because that's what we're supposed to do. And I was actually going to do something what I'm not doing now, but I woke up to a video that I watched. It's a 2-minute video from Professor Black HQ. He's a very intelligent brother who gives really good commentary and really good information about current events that's going on in the so-called black community. But that's where the problem lies. But the name of the video is, and I got bullet points that I'm just going to follow here. I wrote down some bullet points after viewing the video. And the video is a short trailer. It's like a two minute, few seconds video. But it's race war trailer, all right? And crowdfunding. And one of the main speakers in the short clip is a 20-year police veteran, a female cop. I believe she was a cop out east. Yeah, she was I forget where out east, but 20 plus year veteran. And basically what she was saying is that racism is institutionalized within the police force itself. All right, which, you know, that's common sense. Although the average American, even average Negro, don't want to acknowledge that. The so-called, that is, or the so-called Latino. You know, you still got these Israelites who believe in Babylon, man. All right. So, but let me start with saying this to the professor. All right. Just like I said to the brother Willie D, we are not black, man. We're brown. We're different shades of brown. You got dark shades of brown people and light shades of brown people. The whole black narrative was a creation of white superiority, that creation of black people to categorize someone, that there is no land or no nation of black. The darkest people you see are still brown, different chocolate brown, man, like soil. All right, to light shades of brown. Yeah, that's a part of that's definitely that whole black thing is a part of the whole creation and institution of white supremacy when the whole race of white people were created in 1681, man. In 1681, it was written into law that this new classification of people referring to themselves as white, because prior to that, no one did. All right, you can check the research of Tim Wise, the research of Dr. Laura Jacqueline Badalora, and you can also check the research of Dr. D'Angelo. I forget her first name, but she was the writer of White Fragility, because it is fragile, because it's false, it's fake. It's as fake as strong as rice paper. It'll break, man. The whole white supremacy doctrine has more holes in it than Swiss cheese, man. Okay? But let's read the definition of black from the Winston Simplified Dictionary. They came up with this term. Okay? And this is a Winston Simplified Dictionary, Encyclopedia edition 1931. I also have an Oxford back there too, but it's just too small. You actually have to use a magnifying glass to look at it. But a lot of the definitions in this book match up to those. And that book's that's a 2-part series. The books are like twice as thick as this one. And it's 2 of them. It's split between A to M and then N to Z. All right, but here we go. Black, it says entirely without light. So it's saying that you're stupid because you're not illuminated. All right. Of the darkest hue, opposite of white. And when you read white, it's intelligent and bright and light and all those other things. Dark skin as a Negro, swarthy. All right. You got to remember too, King James and the Scots were referred to as swarthy. All right. Even in Yiddish, the fake way of speaking Hebrew, the swartz and swarthy is referring to as black. It's dark. All right. It says wrapped in darkness, dismal, gloomy or forbidden, without moral light or goodness, evil, darkest color, opposite of white. Once again, it says that. A black color or dye, a Negro, mourning. All right. And remember, it says and they're in mourning. Jeremiah 14:2. It says that. Matter of fact, let me just get that real quick and finish this definition. All right, because it's referring to the physical and mental state of the Jews, who, according to the Bible, were of a dark hue, so-called black people. This is Jeremiah 14:2. Judah mourneth, and at the gates thereof languish. They are black without light, unto the ground. They're also dark in color. And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up. All right. So definitions and understanding the meaning of words are very, very important, man. All right. To make black, blacken, to apply blacking. So to apply it. So they applied that title to you and you continue to use it, Professor. And it's not, and it doesn't take much to look to, and all these pro-black people. Well, how can you be pro-black knowing what it means? And then the fact that our skin color is not black, we are brown. It's a false narrative that was created by the so-called white man. All right. The so-called white man. Who is Esau Edom? Okay. Next bullet point. Right. In 1681, whiteness was written into law. All right. And what came with that? A pseudoscience, the news media, the schools, what you're taught in schools, all to support these false narratives, man. Literature was all set up to support this newfound false creation of whiteness, man. All right, which racism advanced at a tremendous pace from that point on. Then it spread around the whole world, man. All right, and what came as a result of that? Separation. But Jake flourished in this separation, man. They flourished. All right. You had things like Black Wall Street, which was and the Black Belt here in Chicago, Elaine and Rosewood. So, we owned not only whole old neighborhoods, but in some places whole towns, man. And so Esau was the one that forced integration. Why? Because when Jake was separate, they would get a real education, get taught for real, and then they would grow and build their own neighborhoods, own businesses, etc., etc. And Esau, it just proves that, man, we're just so much stronger, so much better in every way imaginable than they are. Mentally, physically, spiritually, in all aspects. And when you actually leave us alone, we will prosper. But Esau has to keep his IV of wickedness in our veins, so to speak. All right. Because what happened to Black Wall Street? Black Wall Street was actually surrounded by KKK and white militia and the U.S. military, and they machine gun, fire burned, lynched, murdered, shot, set up machine guns in the hills when the people tried to flee the city and shot them down. And then they flew planes over and dropped bombs on the place, man. Tulsa, Oklahoma. All right. And there was violence against all so-called black people around in that era, man, when that happened. I think that was the summer of 1919 was called the Bloody Summer. There were hangings, murders, and killings all over America, man. A perpetuated hate by the so-called white man. Okay. Then you had Elaine, which was down in Tennessee, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was Elaine, Tennessee, another city citywide murder, lynching, you know, of Negroes, burning of their neighborhoods and taking of their properties, which they would never received any kind of reprisals for that, or reciprocity for that. Okay. Then you had the Black Belt here in Chicago, same thing. Is referred to as Bronzeville today. And then you, of course, you had Rosewood. They even made a movie about Rosewood. Even though a lot of people in Rosewood were also Reubenites, so-called Native Americans, you know, Black Seminoles. But nevertheless, it was the same thing, man. Okay? And why? Because they were afraid of the prophecy. So let's go to the Bible. This is Genesis 49. And I'm gonna read to verse 10. All right? And it reads, "And Jacob called his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that's what shall befall you in the last days." So this is the beginning. We're in Genesis, and he's talking about the last days. The end was declared in the beginning. All right? "Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father." All right? Because so in the Bible, when the Lord, when it's referring to Jacob or Israel, it's talking about Yasharallah, the people of the Lord, man. All right? "Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, and excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power." All right? "Which is my tribe. I am indeed a Reubenite. Unstable as water, and I was, and I'm still fighting that now. Thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up into thy father's bed." And I was constantly in the world, that dude who was with somebody else's woman, man. All right? I was wicked. All right? Because thou wentest up unto thy father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up into my couch. So Reuben was the firstborn. So guess what? The blessing of that firstborn is not passed on to Reuben. That dictated, that rulership, royal line, man, that went unto Judah, which we're going to read. All right? "Simeon and Levi are thy brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in thy hand, in their hand, in their habitation." That's the so-called Dominicans and Haitians, man, who used to ride together, and instruments of cruelty are in their hands. That Santeria, all right? And then that voodoo, all right? They do a lot of the same things, and they're the same people, man, except one was conquered by the French, and the other was conquered by the Spaniards, man. And now they like hate each other, man, especially them damn Simeons, because they want to deny their brownness. They want to be Edomites collectively so bad. All right? It says, O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembling. My honor, be not thou united, for their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they dig down the wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, because they went and killed all them Hamites, man. For it was cruel. I would divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel. And that's exactly, and they've been divided even within Jacob. Because like I said, Levi and Simeon, they really hate each other, man, collectively. All right? "Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee." And that's why at the forefront of this race war, like even in this trailer, they always talking about black and white, but it's not just black and white. It's black, white, and browns. You know, just go watch the Fuck Donald Trump video, because they fear, you know, I'm talking about the rap song video, but they fear the rejoining of the sons of Jacob in the last days, but they can't stop it. That's why I'm reading about it. And so the so-called white man is arrogant and really stupid when he thinks he's smart, because it's not just, and this race riot is actually written, and it will happen. I'm going to read about it. All right? And it's not just Negroes you're going to have to go to war with. You're going to war with all the brown people, man. They're all going to come against you. Even the other heathens are going to come against you. All right? The dot heads, you know, the so-called Asians. They're all going to turn on you. China is getting ready to be at war with America, man, with you so-called white people. Okay? You think the Chinese is going to continue to vibe with you so-called white people? When they see their brethren on the news dying and stuff and that whole sort of thing, they're not. You put yourself in the trick bag with your white superiority, man. All right, which is a false narrative, which is showing itself to be that. All right. Verse 8, Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies. Thy father's children shall bow before thee, because everyone is going to acknowledge Judah is the head tribe, man. And they're going to bow down before Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Okay? Saw a Snapple cap in a screenshot, and even the Snapple cap said that the letter J was newly created, man. So the name was not Jesus, stupid people. Jesus is a Greek title. All right? Christ is a Greek title. The Lord was a Hebrew out of the tribe of Judah, man, and he had a Hebrew name. Okay? The sepulchre shall not depart from Judah, nor the lawgiver, that's who Yahushua is, from between his feet until Shiloh come. And that's talking about Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. And unto him that shall the gathering of the people be. And everyone's gathering by the word and gathering unto Yahushua. Under that name, the so-called blacks and browns are coming back together, and the confusion of face that are scattered. All right? Let me jump down to just verse 18. I'm going to read that, 18 and 19. I have waited for thy salvation, O Yahweh. Gad, the so-called Native Americans, a troop shall overcome him. And they were overcome by United States troops, man. Cavalry. All right? But he shall overcome at the last. So Gad is going to get back at them, man. Why? Because they're going to be joined unto this battle. And they're gonna get back at Esau Edom, man. For it is prophesied. And this is a prophecy that terrifies the so-called white man. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, man. This is Ezekiel 37. I'm going to read verses 1 through 4 first. And it says, the hand of Yahweh was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones. And that's America. All right. These jakes that are just dry because they know not who they are. All right. And caused me to pass them round about. And even Malcolm X, before they killed him, said this. There's a famous speech of him screaming and yelling, saying that he's talking about you Negroes. But it wasn't just the Negroes. It was the Latinos and the Native Americans too. All right. They were those. Christopher Columbus came over here with 5 Hebrew interpreters. Look it up. Facts. Factual history. Okay. Verse 2. And caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, they were very many in the open valley. And lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, Yahweh power thou knowest. And again he said to me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. And that's what we do. We go out and we teach our people our true nationality. We teach people the true name of the power that created the heavens and the earth, man. And that was Yahweh, Yahushua, man. All right? That's the name of the Father and the Son. Like the Native Americans used to chant. Yea, hey, hey, why, hey, why, yea. They were chanting the name of the Father, man. Many of them, they knew. They kept the Passover. They kept feast days. They kept their women separate from. They had many wives, and they kept they kept their women away from them when they were unclean, when they were on their period. All right, and they refrained from touching dead things, man. All right, and there's many anthropologists that documented this in many, many books. A lot of information proving what I'm saying, man. All right, jumping down to verse 15. And the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, make thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel and his companions. So that's Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And then from Ephraim down to Issachar. Asher, Naphtali, Gad, Reuben, Zebulun. You go back to Or you go to Revelation, the 7th chapter, and you get that breakdown, man. Okay? And it's verse 17. And join them one another into one stick, and they shall become one in thine hand. And that's happened here in America, the Valley of the Dry Bones, the northern and the southern kingdom, the so-called blacks and browns have come back together, man. All right? And some of them are coming together even on a carnal level, man. But it's all spiritual. All right? And when the children of thy people shall speak to thee, saying, wilt thou not show us what thou meanest by these? And people walk by and they see the sign and they looking at it. And then we have to break it down and explain to them. And some of them disregard it, but the ones that the Lord wants, they get it. That's John 15 and 16. Okay? Let's get that real quick. Because contrary to prior belief, you don't wake up one day and decide to give your life to the Lord. The Lord chooses who he wants, even out of the nation of Israel, because you got to remember, 2/3 of Israel is already marked for death, man, for what they've done. There's no salvation unto them on this side. They get the kingdom when they're born back into it through the Israelites that make it. All right, this is John 15 and 16. Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you and ordained you that you should bring forth fruit, and your fruit should remain, and that whatsoever ye shall ask the Father in my name, you got to know the name, he may give it unto you, man. So all your claims, when you claim women, when you claim heathens for property, for slavery, the Lord's going to grant that unto you, man. If you're one of his elect. It's as simple as that. All right? All right, and then and Esau's falling right before you, man. All right, and the race riots are coming, which we're going to read in 2 Ezra 15. I'm going to read some of that. But you got a failing economy. You got that drug opioid problems, meth problems. All right? Racism, poverty, disease, violence, and World War III is at hand, man. So this is the time. There's not a lot of time left, man. But you're so entertained with stupid shit like the Dancing with the Stars and Who Wants to Be a Star or whatever the hell that stupid show is. All right. This is 2 Ezra 15, and I'm gonna read chapter. I'm gonna read the first couple verses. It says, "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy." What does prophecy mean? To say before. We've been telling you from the apostles on down for 30-something years, man. All right, the apostles been teaching and telling you this for 30-some years, and it's been reaching the whole world via the internet for the last 10+ years, man. Okay. And the things we're saying are now the headlines in the news daily. All right? You were scoffing 4 or 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, and now these things are in the news daily. They're happening. All right? "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith Yahweh, and I will cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true." All right? They are. Jumping down to verse 15. "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands." That's those race riots, man, and they're coming. And you've seen little skirmishes in the buildup of it. All right? And you watch that Professor Black HQ and that race war official trailer, man. That race war is going to happen, man. And you so-called white people are going to lose horribly. All right, you're gonna come out the gates blazing, and then the tribes are gonna all come together, and the heathens, and they're gonna smash you, man. All right. Verse 16. "And there shall be sedition among men, invading one another, and they shall regard their kings nor princes, and in the course of their actions they shall stand in their power." And it's happening on a smaller scale already, man. There's been a lot of home invasions and carjackings, man. All right. That was just a home invasion over here in this neighborhood. Show you, man, and this stupid woman, she's outside shoveling snow, and some guy walked by and asked her if he could come in her house and warm up, and her dumb ass let him in. And then 3 other men rushed in behind them, and then they tied up her husband and tied her up, and then they sexually assaulted her daughter and some other woman in the house. Stupid, man. All right, but nevertheless, that sort of thing is going to happen and get worse. You wait till them troops get set loose. All right? A man shall desire to go into a city and should not be able to. You're not going to be able to go from city to city, neighborhood to neighborhood, man. There's going to be checkpoints everywhere. All right? Because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, man. So your house is going to be destroyed. All right? Just like I can only imagine the fear that fell over that woman when the men forced their way into there, right? And she brought that evil into her house, man. By letting that man into our house, man. The scriptures say, lay not your hands suddenly on any man. People have to prove their friendship, prove their loyalty, man. Even people that you so-called are with, man. It has to be proven. That's what the Bible said. That's what the Lord says. You never know what people's intentions are, man. And people can make believe that they really are into you, that they love you, or that they really like you, and they're your friend, they're your lover, and then they turn around and do some shit to you, man. That's why the scriptures say lay no hands suddenly on any person, man. All right? For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for the great tribulation. So people gonna be going through it, and they destroyed that woman's house, man, and destroyed them. People are scarred forever, man. All right, they're scarred forever because of what happened. Her daughter got raped because of her stupidity, man, and whatever else happened, whatever they took, what they took from them, they can never get back, man. This is and you also have the nations fighting each other, man. World War III is at hand. They just shot down a Russian plane and then shot the pilot as he was he bailed out the plane into his parachute, and they shooting him on the way down, man, and he's shooting back. He went out fighting, man. And then the Russians went over there and smashed on the guys that did that, killed like 30 plus some of them. All right? So this world war has begun, man. Okay? All you hear about is nuclear talks, nuclear threat. You know? This is and they're over in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, man. And that's where this fighting is taking place. And I'm about to read about it. It says, behold, the horrible vision and the appearance of their from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon the earth, and they which hear them, they may fear and tremble. And you also have the Israelis getting into it with the Lebanese, man. And that's what it's talking about. The dragons of Arabia is coming together. All right. And it says also the Carmenians, and that's talking about those Iranians, man. Iran. All right. They're coming into this thing. All right. Raging with wrath shall go forth as wild boars of the wood, man. And the boar is a very dangerous animal, man. And with great power shall they come and join the battle with them, and they shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And they're fighting in Assyria right now, man. So with that, I hope this was an edifying lesson. All praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and Abba Babal.